The opposite of loneliness isn't being surrounded by people. It's feeling connected and understood. It's hearing another woman say, "Oh my gosh, me too," right? But according to recent AARP research, loneliness is actually highest among adults in their 40s and their 50s. And I think that's because midlife is often the season when everyone needs something from you. As midlife women, we're kind of bleeding energy out of both sides. Now, add perimenopause on top of that. You're not just managing work, family, relationships, and responsibilities anymore. Your body may be changing in ways that you don't even fully understand. Hey there, I'm Bria, and welcome to the Period Whisperer podcast. If you're over 35 and ready for real answers about your hormones, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and stay with us. Hey there, sister. How are you feeling in your body? Do you ever feel lonely, or maybe like you're reaching for food or drink or numbing out with binging hours of Netflix? But really, when you look hard inside, you're missing connection. Maybe that connection that you miss is even a connection with yourself. I definitely know that feeling. I think it's very real in midlife, and I see it many, many times with the women that I work with. Did you know that nearly half of Americans in their late 40s report feeling lonely? Not because they're physically alone, not because they don't have people around them. In fact, most women in midlife that I know have spouses, have kids, have coworkers, friends, families surrounding them all of the time. But according to recent AARP research, loneliness is actually highest among adults in their 40s and their 50s. And I think that's because midlife is often the season when everyone needs something from you, while very few people stop to ask, "How are you doing? How are you feeling?" Also, I have been very aware recently of how our generation now in our 40s and 50s were parented very differently. We were parented by parents who were given the parenting memo of your children should sometimes be seen and not heard. They should respect their elders. They should give back to their parents. They should respect all of their teachers. They should follow through on their responsibilities. They should do what they're told, eat what is put in front of them. They should do everything that they're supposed to do. And yet, our generation of parents were given the memo, and certainly us as mothers, of do not let your children suffer. Wrap them in bubble wrap. Keep them busy constantly so they don't get into trouble. Make sure they have everything that they need and want for nothing. Make sure that there are plenty of birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and parties for everyone and participation awards for everyone. So our children aren't taught with the same values to give back to us. And that might not be everyone's situation, but more and more times than often, I am seeing in my clients and even in my own life, parents doing everything and children that don't even really have chores. They don't have those same responsibilities giving back. So as midlife women, we're kind of bleeding energy out of both sides. Now, add perimenopause on top of that. You're not just managing work, family, relationships, and responsibilities anymore. Your body may be changing in ways that you don't even fully understand. Maybe you're waking up exhausted. Maybe your anxiety is higher than it's ever been. Maybe you're struggling with brain fog and weight gain and mood swings or sleep issues. And what's particularly hard is that many women don't talk about it still, or maybe we talk about it and complain about it because it's being talked about more, but we're not necessarily given a solution. Because when we do talk about it, we're told, oh, it's just cortisol or it's just stress. We're told it's aging. We're told everything looks normal. We're told it's not this, it's that, and let's just take this medication or take this pill. So instead of feeling supported, we often end up feeling even more alone. Not because women aren't loved by the people around them, right? Not because your children don't love you or your partner doesn't love you or your friends and your family, but because nobody truly understands what you're experiencing. And even when you do work on it, progress is not linear, right? It takes time, it takes consistency. Our body is not a vending machine. It takes hope and belief that it will get better so that you keep going. But that consistency, that belief, that's really hard, especially when you're feeling alone. And that's really what I want to talk about today in this episode. Why so many women feel alone in midlife, even when they're surrounded by people, and why feeling understood might be one of the most important parts of navigating this season well and getting results in your body again and reestablishing your connection to yourself. When most people hear the word loneliness, they picture someone sitting alone in an empty house. But that isn't what the research shows. In a recent study published in the Journal of Menopause Society, one of the questions researchers asked when measuring loneliness is, how often do you feel people are around you but not with you, not on your side, not seeing things from your perspective? Think about that for a minute. People around you but not with you. I think that perfectly describes what many women experience during perimenopause. You can be married, you can have children, you can have wonderful friends, you can be involved in your community and still feel profoundly alone. Because loneliness often isn't about physical isolation, it's about emotional disconnection. It's about feeling misunderstood. It's about feeling like nobody truly gets what you're carrying. And it can be similar when you're going through other major changes too, right? Like job stress, loss of a loved one, divorce. I remember having lots of support and love when I went through my divorce, but feeling very alone unless I was speaking to someone who'd gone through it. There were times when I felt completely disconnected from myself, and that was right around the time when my hormones began their first major shift into perimenopause, into adrenal fatigue, whatever was happening at that point in time. My body was changing. My sleep was changing. My moods were changing. I mean, I was awake half of the night. And you start to feel alone and like you're losing hope and maybe even a grip on reality sometimes. Like you don't know if you can keep going in this Groundhog Day feeling. And I hear the same thing from my clients all of the time, women who say, I don't recognize myself anymore. I feel crazy. I feel like nobody understands what I'm going through. I have a client who told me at the end of our time together that one major non-scale victory she had not expected at all was actually how much more social she felt. She was saying hi to her neighbors again as she walked her dog in the mornings. She was having way more fun with her friends at lunch or on work events, whereas before she just wanted to stay home and kind of withdraw, which was unusual for her. And she hadn't even realized that that was what was starting to happen because of how horrible she felt before she did this work to get herself back into balance. And again, that feeling of being misunderstood by others and not understanding yourself even is often more painful than the symptoms themselves. That same AARP research offered a really interesting explanation for why loneliness peaks in midlife. They pointed to the enormous pressure that happens during these years specifically, right? We've got career demands, raising children, supporting partners, kids going off to college, caring for aging parents, managing households, trying to maintain friendships, trying to stay healthy. I call these years the peak responsibility years. Everyone knows what they need from you. Your boss needs something, your spouse needs something, your children need something, your parents need something, your community needs something. But when was the last time someone asked, what do you need? Not what you need to accomplish, not what you need to do, but what do you need? And then perimenopause arrives, and suddenly your body is asking for rest and space, for support, for recovery, for boundaries. And yet the demands around you have not changed. You built this life. This is what you designed it to be. And that's a recipe for feeling really isolated. The majority of the women I work with in private practice, our work is centered around creating space for the body to recover. Sometimes that is gut correction, nutrition correction, immune support, hormone correction, fitness, detox, thyroid, etc., all these things. But some of the clients that take longer, our work begins with setting boundaries just so that we can even begin the other work. The body cannot heal if it does not have the space to. And that is really hard work. It's lonely if you don't have support. And most women, research shows, can't do it alone because we're not meant to. One of the biggest reasons women feel exhausted in midlife isn't just our hormones, it's the invisible labor we're carrying. It's not just making doctor's appointments or running your child to urgent care last minute. It's remembering to make the appointment or moving your schedule to make it happen. It's picking up the antibiotic. It's the school event, the birthday gift, the groceries, the dog appointment, the travel plans, the summer camp registration, or even the summer camp address. I had to go digging around through emails to be like, oh my gosh, where am I taking my child today? The mental tabs that never close. I was just talking about this with one of my clients this morning. Even when you are resting at home, the tabs are all still open. And here's what I see happen. Women start believing that they're failing, right? They think they're becoming forgetful, disorganized, emotional, overwhelmed. But what if you're not failing? What if you're just overloaded? What if your exhaustion is not a personal weakness? What if it's simply the result of carrying too much for too long? When women normalize burnout, it's because everyone around them is also busy. So they stop asking for help. They stop expressing what they need. And eventually they become disconnected from themselves. And I think this is one of the hidden contributors to loneliness in midlife. You become so busy managing everyone else's life that you lose connection with your own. And what makes this especially important is that loneliness isn't just emotional. Research presented through the Menopause Society found that loneliness and social isolation may negatively impact cognitive health in midlife and beyond. So women are reporting higher levels of loneliness and they're demonstrating poor cognitive performance and memory. So, in other words, this isn't simply just about feeling sad. This affects how we think, how we cope, how we function, how we age. And that's why I believe we need to stop dismissing loneliness as something trivial. The opposite of loneliness isn't being surrounded by people, it's feeling connected and understood. It's hearing another woman say, oh my gosh, me too, right? It's realizing that your symptoms are not all in your head, that you're not the only one experiencing them. It's realizing that you're not weak, you're not broken, you're not failing, you're just carrying a whole heck of a lot. The more women that I work with, the more I realize that information alone isn't enough. It's not enough for me to just say, here's what you need to do. You can listen to podcasts, you can read books, you can follow experts online, but eventually every single woman reaches a point where she needs support and connection, a place where she can ask questions, share her experiences. Maybe even if all the energy she has is just to be a fly on the wall and learn from other women walking that same path. And most importantly, she needs to feel understood. And honestly, that is the biggest reason I created Midlife Mojo, because I am tired of seeing women suffer alone. I'm tired of hearing, I thought it was just me. I've been Googling this for months. I don't know who to talk to. I can't lose weight. I keep being dismissed by my doctor. I'm told my labs are fine. There are three things that break my heart over and over again. Women who have lost confidence in their bodies, women who think they're failing because they can't keep up with this pace that they used to be able to, or simply that they're trying and nothing is working. and the women who spend years suffering silently because they believe that everyone else has it figured out. So if that is you, I want you to know something, that you don't have to figure this out alone. Now, I know that one of the reasons you're here listening to this podcast every week is because you've been carrying a lot. You want to be a great parent, a supportive partner, a good daughter, a good friend, and you still want to be healthy in your body. You want to feel your best and not be thinking about your body so much so that you can be all of these things that you want to be. And sometimes you even feel guilty because you also need a space to understand yourself. So taking time for yourself makes you feel guilty. Setting boundaries makes you feel guilty. But you need that space to understand yourself, just to hear the messages and whispers of your own body, to figure out who you are in this new season. And that can be incredibly lonely. It really makes me feel like, the caterpillar alone in the cocoon, preparing to become a butterfly. But you got to stay there sometimes. And yet we are humans, and you don't have to stay there, right? It doesn't have to be you alone in the cocoon going through this on your own. You are not a caterpillar. So if you are looking for support, community, coaching, a group of women who truly understand what this season feels like, I would love to invite you into Midlife Mojo. Not only is it designed to cut through the noise and give you a proven blueprint that you can follow, right? Healing, nutrition, hormones, workouts, symptom relief, all of the things that you are Googling. But it also gives you the connection that you need, that I need as a woman going through this time in this day and age. Because healing happens faster when we stop trying to do it alone. So, if this resonated with you, if you are nodding along as you listen to this, click the link in the show notes to check out Midlife Mojo. I even made it free for the first 7 days, just so you can pop in and see if it feels right for you. Because I want to know how you're feeling in your body and that the place you go to feels right for you. So this is your next step to being more in your life and not just less on a scale. Take your step. Step into the version of you. Don't do it alone. And I'll catch you in the next episode. If you're 35 plus and ready to stop guessing, start understanding your hormones, and feel your absolute best, hit subscribe. That's what we do here.